Boom! Hello, everybody. I am Dave. Oh, wait, I got the wrong camera. What am I doing here? What am I doing? Turn that off. Turn that off. Hello, hello, hello. This is Wine with Dave, the very, very popular internet show. Boom. I'm not drinking wine tonight. I'm drinking water. It's a first. There's a first for everything. I bring the Dave, you bring the wine. So, hey, we got a busy night tonight. I've got a really awesome guest, a pro in her field, Patricia Raskin. I'll talk to you about that, about her in a little bit. Just get things ready. But thank you for Wine with Dave. So the first thing I wanted to talk about tonight is this little ticker tape at the bottom. So if you see that scrolling and you have something that you want to talk about that's really big, monumental, whatever, might be big to you, not big to others, just tell me, text me actually before 8:30, and I could get it in that night, and it'll be on the pre-roll, which is the countdown, okay? I'm thinking of not having it during this segment. I had one person complain and say, yeah, I just want to look at you, Dave, which I appreciate. I think that's pretty awesome. Two people, no one's on. Can anybody see me or hear me? If anybody's listening, leave a comment. Leave a comment. That's odd that there's nobody there. 3 people are watching. Leave a comment. Leave a comment. If you're on my personal page, that's where I'm going live. I shared it to the Wine with Dave, so that's fine. If you're on that page and you leave a comment, it will not show up on the screen. So leave that page and go to, just look for David England, click that. That's where the live feed is as well. And then you can leave a comment and it'll show up right on the screen. So no one is watching, 4 people are watching. Whoever's watching on my page, just leave a comment so I know that you are watching me, okay? So the other thing is, so I'm not going to have the ticker tape on the whole time. And, oh, Mike's here. Yep. Okay, it's good, good, good. Sometimes I'm in test mode. I did that once. Like nobody was on for 5 minutes, and that's odd. So I'm like, okay. So my brother's here. Good. Mike is here. So we are good. So if you're on the Wine with Dave Facebook page, just nothing wrong with that. But I'm not going live to that page till sometime in May. Right now, you're seeing a shared version of it. Same exact thing. You're still live. Everything's the same. The only thing difference is if you type in a comment like, hey, happy birthday, whatever, it will not show up on the screen. So if you want to leave a message, just open up another browser, another window in your browser, and just look for David England, E-N-G, where am I? Right there, E-N-G-L-U-N-D. And you'll see a little circle of me playing a guitar. That's the David England. There are a couple David Englands on there. Anyway, enough of that. Let me turn this off. So that's what we're going to do here. So leave some shares, likes, and comments. Comments, likes, and shares. Oh my! It is wine o'clock. Wine o'clock, and it's going to be wine o'clock for the next 57 minutes. So thanks for coming on the show. I'm having so much fun. This is like the coolest thing. I mean, what else am I going to do at 9 o'clock at night on a weeknight? What else am I going to do, right? So I might as well start a show. All right, so it's wine o'clock. Everybody knows that. My Facebook's acting on me. All right, likes, comments, and shares. And also, if you are on the Wine with Dave Facebook page, just click like, follow me. That'd be really nice because when I do go live, you will be notified. When I started the show, I just did it on my own page. I didn't think it would be much of anything, and now it's kind of turning into something a little bigger. Who else is here? Steve England is here. Steve's in the house. Cool. Steve's in the house. Okay, cool. We got 4 people. Probably most of you people are on the Wine with Dave because there's only 4 on my post here. All right, so I'm going to do that segment that I like to call Did You Know? Are you ready? You ready for Did You Know? Did you know? Did you know I can switch cameras? Here we go. Did you know Money is the number one thing that couples argue about. Did you know? Stewardesses is the longest word that is typed with only the left hand. Did you know? The M&M of M&M chocolates stands for Mars and Murray, the owners and the inventors of M&Ms. Did you know? Did you know you burn more calories eating celery than it contains? That means you're actually losing weight by eating celery. That's crazy. You become thinner by eating celery. Did you know? In Eastern Africa, you can buy beer brewed from bananas. Did you know? Here's one about my favorite animal, if you never knew that. A giraffe can clean its ear with its 21-inch tongue. Talk about a wet willy. Australia was originally called New Holland. Did you know? All the blinking in one day equates to having your eyes closed for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. You do 30 minutes of blinking. Sponges hold more cold water than hot. Did you know? A 1-minute kiss burns 26 calories. Did you know? Did you know a crocodile can't move its tongue? And did you know the first MTV video that played was Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles? And did you know the word laser stands for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation? Laser. Did you know that? Did you know there are 22 stars in the Paramount Studios logo? Did you know? And black on yellow are the two colors with the strongest impact. If you're going to do a sign, get a car wash, don't do black on white. Buy yellow cardboard, black marker. Did you know? And that ends the segment, Did you know? And I got to switch cameras again. That's really odd. Why does it do that? Did you know? I'm also the engineer of my show, and I often click the wrong buttons. Did you know? Okay, I think people like that segment. They were like typing me, texting me, saying, "Dude, that's so cool. That's so cool." All right, here's something. I think you guys are going to like this. Every day I try to read the National Day, like it's National Mrs. Butterworth's Day or National Guitar Day or something. But today, there wasn't any good ones, except one. There was one real good day, and it is National Bugs Bunny Day. All right? Leave a comment if you like Bugs Bunny. All right? Tom Lopolito says, "Now I know." Cool. Now you know. And you're welcome for the education there. All right, so April 30th commemorates the date the famous bunny first appeared in a short film in 1938. Known for his comical antics, Bugs Bunny created memorable roles in Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies cartoons produced by Warner Brothers. The wascally wabbit caused many a raucous scene for his castmates, Daffy Duck, Yosemite Sam, Porky Pig, Pepe Le Pew, and Marvin the Martian. However, his eminent counterpart was forever the admirable hunter, Elmer Fudd. His popular catchphrase, "What's up, Doc?" continues to be associated with the humorous bunny. He first appeared in 1938 in Porky's Hare Hunt as a happy rabbit, but later solidified his character as Bugs Bunny in the 1940 A Wild Hare. Would you like to see a wild hare. We're going to watch a little Bugs Bunny. Just a short one. Ready? Here we go.
Guess who? Eddie Lamar? Nope. Well, Carol Lombard? Rosemary Wayne? Nope. Olivia de Havilland? Nope, but you're getting warmer. Say, you wouldn't be that screwy wabbit, would you? Could be.
Could be. Wow, 1940. How many years ago was that? 60, 70, 80 years ago? Is that right? 80 years? That is a long time ago. 80 years ago. Bugs Bunny, 1940. 1940. It's National Bugs Bunny Day. It is 9:10. It's still wine o'clock. It's the wine o'clock hour. So anyway, let's get into what did it first appeared? There's some national days too. This day in history. Here's a quick pick me up. Adolf Hitler committed suicide today. That's a good segue. Bugs Bunny to Adolf Hitler. What else? What else happened today? Big Ben. Okay, Big Ben stopped at 12:11 p.m. for 54 minutes. Right at just after lunchtime. Wow. So if you were born on this day, Patricia Raskin, you stopped a clock. 1997. World War II launches in the public domain. World Wide Web, the WWW, launches in the public domain. I think that is really, really cool. So cool. New York's World Fair opens. What else do I have here? Lots of stuff. United States and France conclude the Louisiana Purchase. George Washington gives his first inaugural speech, his address, 1789. The first federal prison for women opens in West Virginia. Lots of stuff. Original Land Rover debuts at the auto show. Let me move my microphone. The Battle of the Boot takes place between Anglo-Indian and Turkish forces. 1917, the Battle of the Boot. I think I know someone who has that nickname, the Boot. I think he might be watching tonight. Just saying. All right, let's get into this. Tomorrow night's cool. I've been getting a bunch of people interested in wanting to be guests. I've got a really cool guest that's not solidified. It's a couple weeks from now. That might be really good. I don't want to give anything away because sometimes they fall through. And it's depressing for me because I got to find someone last minute. But last night was great. That was a last minute cancellation. Brought Brad Pierce on. That was hilarious. He was really, really good. I hope you guys liked him. Comedian going on behind Seinfeld. How cool is that? Actually, not behind. After Seinfeld went up, Jim Gaffigan went up, who's amazingly funny, and then Seinfeld goes up, and then to test their stuff. The audience went nuts because they're like, whoa, they got to practice. Then they get off stage and he has to go up after them. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. But tomorrow night, I've got a band called The Echoed. They are a songwriting duo and they're only a studio band. They don't play out, but they really hone their skills and their craft and they write music. They're called The Echoed. I'm going to have both of those guys on. It's a duo. But tonight, are you ready? Tonight's guest is Patricia Raskin. She is the host of Positive Living. Patricia is recognized as the powerhouse voice of positive lifestyle and aging. She has been a pioneer for almost 4 decades and is an award-winning radio producer and business owner, an entrepreneur. Her mission is to help experts, authors, and business owners deliver a powerful message to their listeners. She also helps her clients create their own podcast shows. And tonight, it's her birthday. Check it out.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the world of podcasting. The number of podcasts produced in the last couple of years has skyrocketed. Your podcast is one of your footprints. You can share your tips, strategies, successes, lessons, and even those that you've learned from failures. Your compelling podcast can have your listeners really wanting to come back for more. With my decades as a radio broadcaster, coach, and host, I can help you make your podcast compelling and get them out through the electronic airwaves. Here's to your successful podcasts.
Patricia Raskin, how are you?
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Doing very good. It's your birthday tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really fun. It's been quite the day.
Yeah.
Quite the day.
Anybody come over and give you a gift, or was it more just phone calls?
Oh, I got phone calls. I got texts. I got emails. Lots of stuff. Flowers. I had a Zoom birthday party. with
Nice.
20 That was really something.
Yeah, Zoom birthday. Jeez.
Birthday.
That's cool.
We get to talk. Yeah, it's a little overwhelming. You know, when everybody says nice things about you, like you don't know what to do. It's like, ooh, it was really fun. Yeah, it was really just a lovely day.
Well, are you ready for a surprise?
Oh, okay.
I didn't tell you this.
Uh-oh.
I always prep my guests, but I didn't tell you this. Now, you won't be able to see it because you're on Skype, but everyone else will. But you can see it 20 seconds later in Facebook
Me
World.
nervous, Dave.
I know. You don't have to do anything. Just sit back. I've got a surprise.
Uh-oh.
I've got Bill Nye, the science guy.
Okay.
So he's right there throwing his thumbs up. You can't see him, but everyone else can. So say hi to Bill Nye. He's like, yeah, this is great. So I got Bill Nye. Okay, got to turn him off. And then I got you a cake.
Really?
There's the cake. Yeah, there's a gift.
David.
There it is. You could blow out your candles. Just blow straight. Oh, you just spun the cake. That was perfect timing. The animation turned. As soon as you blew out the candles, you spun the cake. And then so I'm going to keep that there, but I also got you a GIF. So not a gift. A gift is GIFT. I got you a GIF. That's what these things are, all these animated things. So I got you a gift because it's your birthday and because you coach people in podcasting. What do you think I got you?
I don't know, Dave.
Boom. I got you a mic.
Oh!
A microphone. Look at that thing.
I'm so glad I have that cake because I didn't have cake today. This is
Isn't that
wonderful.
cake? There's your mic. I can move that around.
Oh.
It's really tiny. So anyway, some little gifts, some little things.
Yep.
But happy birthday to you. It's great having you on the show and I know you've been very encouraging to me, just saying all kinds of stuff. And I mean, heck, you could run the show on your own. You're the one that does this.
Let me say a few things. First of all, I think you're really cool. I think you're hip. And you captivate the audience. I mean, I tune in often for, a little bit here and there, but I find I keep wanting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You have great guests. I love your, did you know? I love that. And I love your apps at the end. I think they're really fun. But, I want people to know, too, that I met you, Dave, about 3 years ago when podcasts were just starting. I've always been at the beginning of things. So we met and we started talking. And I would talk to you for a long time. I'd call you on my ride home. We would go on and on and on about podcasts. And then we co-taught some courses together. Remember?
Yep.
I think it's Women in Enterprise.
Aldridge Mansion. There was a few. Yeah,
Right.
we did. Yeah.
We did them. And then I don't know what happened. I mean, you kind of did your thing. I did my thing. And then we were part of a group this year that Alan Langer put together that was really great called, what is it called again? It's something.
Play, don't pause.
Right. Play, don't pause.
Yeah.
And so I said, there's Dave. So I said, Dave, we got to reconnect. So then we did. And now we're doing stuff again. And I think podcasts are great. I mean, I know everybody, they hear about them. They say, oh, there's too many of them. But it's a great way to communicate. And it's not the same as real radio. I mean, I've been on broadcast radio, been on public radio, I've been on public TV, regular TV, and I've been on internet, and I've been on podcasting. Podcasting has its own spin.
Yeah, that's right.
The kind of thing you're doing. It's the Wild West. You say what you want, when you want, you have the people on. You don't have the FCC regulations breathing at you,
Right.
telling you can't use 7 words.
You can drink wine. You can drink water. You could do whatever you want. Let me just back up just a little bit. So for your birthday, how are you celebrating during COVID-19? It's just texts and emails and all that? That's what's happening?
That seems to work for me, particularly the Zoom, because I still feel like I'm connecting. Yeah, you're not in front of me, but you are.
Mm-hmm.
So feel that interaction. So, and I spent so many years doing internet radio that I've interacted with my audience for so long. It's been over 20 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And even before that, when I had a broadcast radio show. So I'm used
We're
to.
getting there. I'm trying to reel you back in. You're saying too much. How did you get involved in podcast coaching?
It started when I had an internet radio show.
Mm-hmm.
It started in 2002. And I was one of the first people to do internet radio. And the company asked me if I wanted to help their new hosts. So I started coaching their new hosts back then to do their own internet radio shows.
Yep. That's how it started.
So that's how I got started.
That's how you got started.
And from there I went from internet. And from there I went from internet to podcasting, which is quite similar, but not exactly.
It's a regular transition. Yep. So being the first to have, I've got right here in my notes, you were the first to have programs on cable television and the internet radio. So you were doing more TV, right? Cable.
I started if I say the year, but it's okay. I started decades ago when cable TV just started. And I found out about it and I went to the studio and did a show called Positive People, which is exactly what I'm doing now.
Yeah, so, this theme hasn't changed, right?
No, which is probably why I've never worked for a broadcast station, because I'm not reporting the news. I'm reporting the good stuff that I like.
The good stuff. So someone just texted in, Andrew Stocco. Hello, Dave, and happy birthday, Patricia, Ellen, and Andrew.
Right. I've grown up with Ellen since we were 7 years old.
Wow.
And up in West Hartford and Hartford together. And she was on the call today. So we've been friends our whole entire life.
That's great.
Hugs to Ellen and Andrew.
That's good. Good old friend. Good to have good old friends.
Yeah.
So you were, so tell me about that cable TV. What station was that? Was that just like channel 13 or something like that? Or is it
was one of the new cable stations. I think in those days it was, there were several of them. I think it was American Cable, maybe. I can't remember because I was on several cable stations. But yeah, and it was great. I interviewed a lot of local experts, and I was a guidance counselor at the time, and I was consulting, and I did this on the side. And eventually it became a career. So,
So you're always there guiding people and getting into people's lives. So that was pretty natural for you, right? You knew right away. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm a pollinator. That's why I wear the bumblebee, Dave. I pollinate. So I draw all the good stuff from you and I go, poof.
That's cool. You're pollinator. Miss Bee. You're the queen bee.
Oh, that's what I do is the fun stuff.
The queen bee. Now, over all the year, like 4 decades?
Yeah.
That's amazing. You know radio and terrestrial radio and internet and radio and podcasts. You know it well. It's just like flows in your blood. You've interviewed a lot of people, though, a lot of famous people. Any, famous people, experts, authors, all that. Any favorites?
Well, I'll tell you a fun story. My favorite was Maya Angelou, who is no longer with us. I interviewed her twice. She was remarkable. I'll tell you a fun story. So I also interviewed Dr. Oz twice.
Really?
And when I interviewed Dr. Oz, I had just relocated back to New England. I'm originally from Connecticut, but I relocated back to Rhode Island where my family is, and part of them aren't here anymore, but they were here. And when I did that, it was 12 years ago. And I had been in the South, for 15 years with the beautiful, balmy weather and no snow. So I come back in December of 2007. And in 2008, in January, I hit the ground running and I started my show. Mm-hmm. Well, at the very end of January, I have an opportunity through a publicist to interview Dr. Oz. And the night before the interview was a tremendous snowstorm. Huge. So I called the publicist and I said, listen, Donna, I said, I don't think I'm going to get to the station tomorrow. I said, I don't know if I can interview Dr. Oz. And this was a pre-record. So I had to be there at 7 a.m. because, he had come on at the regular time on Sunday. So she said, well, that's fine. She said, but you're going to lose him. You won't be able to do it. And so I thought about it for about 2 seconds. And I said, I'm going to make this happen. So I left. And remember, I had not driven in the snow in 15 years, and it was a blizzard. And I drove from Warwick to East Providence, 5 miles an hour. I kept praying and talking to myself.
Yeah.
I got there, I did the interview, 15, 20 minutes. It was great. And I drove home. Same thing, 5 miles an hour. And I did it.
You did it. You did it. Let me interject because people are leaving comments on the other page, but they're not showing up.
Okay.
I think. So if you're on the Wine with Dave page, that's okay. You're still watching the show. But if you want to leave a comment, you can still leave a comment, but it won't show up on the screen. You have to go to the David England's personal page. That's me. Just go there and you will see it. Are people leaving comments? Yeah, a couple. A big night tonight. All right, so anyway, that's great. So you pushed through to really get there.
Yeah. If you really want something and it's worthwhile, then you try to make it happen. I mean, it was a little risky, but it worked for me. I was scared.
Cool. What year was that? Because, yeah, we were getting a lot of blizzards back in the day.
Probably 2008.
Okay.
2008 or 2009. Either one of those 2 years.
Wow.
It's 12 years ago now. Yeah.
How do you prep them for the show? What's the first thing you say? You sit with them and just explain to me how that works.
Well, I usually have questions ahead of time that the publicist will send me, or I'll have their book. I'll either go through it or I'll use those prepared questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually do not pre-interview people. Some people I do, but celebrities don't have the time. So You just have to hit the ground running. And, a lot of celebrities are, they know their material. They're very prolific. You have to know when to jump in. It's interesting.
Yeah, everyone's different, right? You got to let some run their mouth, and others you can just jump in and.
Right.
Did you ever have some bad interviews where it's like, oh, this is just not going anywhere. I gotta put the flame on this one.
A lot of people ask me that, and I would say not really. And the reason is that most of the people I interview are pros. They're authors, they're experts, they're celebrities. They know their stuff, and they want to get it out there. So I'm not interviewing people who, really are not comfortable with the medium, if you will. So,
because they're so used to that, yeah.
Yeah, but I can tell you one thing. I do want to tell you, when you were talking about being ahead of your time, I actually produced a documentary in North Carolina called Positive Aging in North Carolina, television documentary that I produced and hosted myself in 1995. And then The Older Worker in North Carolina in 1996. It was aired on PBS in North Carolina. Now, fast forward 20 years, and I'm working with Rhode Island Public Television to produce a series called Positive Aging. So how about that?
Wow. You just jump in. Oh, you're like a cat that always lands on its feet. You just jump into a new technology and figure it out.
I'll tell you, for me to understand technology is amazing. If I can understand it, and I've had to learn it, because Dave, you can't do this technology, you can't do this work. Mm-hmm. And particularly in the media now, you need that. You need to understand it, whether it's Zoom or Skype or whatever it is. So, yeah, I learned, and I actually like it. It's challenging.
Mm-hmm.
I find the technology challenging, but it's fun.
You got to love people. I think you and I are that way too, because I think people are fascinating. I don't care what you do. Just talking to another human being and connecting on that level and just getting into their brain to see what makes them tick is pretty fascinating to me. I mean, if you don't like people, why would you do it, right?
Well, it's been a gift for me, because look at the people I'm interviewing. They're all positive. They've all gone through something and they've come out the other side. Yeah. So it's really helped me to stay that way. I've always said you teach others what you need to learn for yourself. So that's sort of been my motto.
That's your motto, yeah. There's another thing you say, the know, like, and trust. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I talk about it.
Know, like, and trust.
With podcasting. Yeah. I think podcasting is the best way to get people to know, like, and trust you, because you can be really real on a podcast. Mm-hmm. Meaning that, I said when I was on, regular terrestrial broadcasting and radio, you're listening to commercials. You only have a certain amount of time. It's very formulated. Mm-hmm. Where if I want to tell a story, if I want to have a guest, if I want to share the backstory, And people love that. They want to hear that. They want to always hear about, oh, Dave, look at how great the show is. They want to hear, Dave, what happened to you right before the show? What happened when that didn't work?
Yeah.
How did you handle that? Did you get upset? What did you do?
Yeah.
And what happens if the screen goes black? How do you handle that, Dave? People want to know that.
Yeah,
they just
do.
want to know about all your successes. It's nice, but people love the backstory. And I think that podcasting gives you that opportunity to share that backstory.
It's kind of like the Wizard of Oz, when people went up, Dorothy, the Scarecrow, and the big, powerful Oz with the flames and the bald head and the whole thing. But podcast, that's like television ads. But podcasting and social media is a lot more real. That's like the man behind the curtain. That's kind of how I see that.
Yeah, I think the thing, the advantage, can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you.
Okay, I think the advantage of podcasting, we all talk about video. We're on video now. Very important. But what's the advantage of podcasting? Why is it so popular? Because you can listen when you can't watch. We can't always watch, but we can listen in the car. We can listen when we're walking. So, there are many times when we can't take in the visual. And so that's where the podcast comes in. And they're very popular. And there's podcasting on everything, any subject you want.
Right, they're all over. So if someone has a show, and I know you've got the website, Improve My Podcast, so you would sit with them. What is the process? Take me through that process again. I already know, but just take me through that process.
Well, there's two of them. One is if I help you create your show from scratch.
Okay.
One is if you already have a podcast and I help you improve it. So if I help you improve your podcast, then I'm a coach. So then it's basically really listening to your show, critiquing it, coming back with you, talking about it. Does it need changing? Do you need to add a guest? Do you need to tell a different story? Are you on track? Are you reaching the goals you want? Are you getting the listeners you want? So I think that it's more of a true coach in terms of the podcast coaching. And then we come back and you correct some things or you try something different. I listen again and then I give you feedback. Now, if we're doing your podcast from scratch, like I'm helping you, Dave, create your own show, then we look at what is it you want? Who is your audience? What do they want to hear? What are their pain points? What is it that they need to hear? Not just what do you want to give them, but what's needed right now? What's needed right now with COVID-19? People want to know, how do they deal with isolation? How do they deal with their children at home? How do they deal with going out with the mask on? All the feelings and the emotions and all of that. So you want to appeal to that. So I think anybody having a podcast right now somehow has to deal with that elephant in the room, which is COVID-19. Right. So then we've got to look at who are the guests? What is our message? What is the guest message? And also, what are the stories you tell? It's great that you tell a great story, but the story's got to match your message. So if I just do a funny joke or a story, and it's not really getting to the heart of what I want to share with you or what you need, it doesn't work. So there's a lot to it. There's pacing, there's tone, there's inflection, there's expression. There's a lot to it.
So you'll listen to the first episode, maybe, I'm assuming, or one of the episodes?
We usually practice. We come up with an outline, and then we'll do it. Actually, we'll do it usually on Zoom or on Skype, and then we go into the studio. Or we record it by Zoom, and then I have a technical person who will either record it in the studio or I'll send it to him by Zoom, and he will upload it to the podcast networks like Stitcher and Spreaker and iTunes, which is the most popular. iTunes is the gold standard.
Yeah, right. That's cool because everybody has a story, right? And if you own a business, having a podcast just really tells people, kind of like the man behind the curtain. It's just showing everybody what's really happening behind the scenes.
Right. And I want to say something about, how do you make money at this? How do you get known with this? It's kind of like self-publishing, right? You self-publish a book, but if you sell 15 or 20,000 copies on your own, then a publisher's going to look at you. Same thing in podcasting. David, you start getting 5, 10, 15, 20,000 listeners, a big podcast company will pick you up and they will put ads in your show. So just be good. What a great opportunity. We didn't have this before. You can just If your camera, be good. And I've encouraged you. I've said, I think you should, go after some companies that, because they're looking for listeners. They're looking for volume numbers. And if they see them, they'll find you.
Right. So someone Jim Van, hey, Jim is here. In
Hey,
his
Jim.
profile picture, believe it or not, he's holding a glass of wine. He says, understanding technology is one thing, using it effectively is key. Empathy
Right.
is a huge part. Talk
Right.
about the empathy. That's a good point, Jim.
Yeah. You want me to talk about it? Or
Yeah.
is Jim? Oh, okay. So, yeah, I think empathy is key because it shows that you're understanding your listeners and you're giving them what they need. You're there for them. Now, I do want to say this. I think we need to look at our strengths. My strength is content and delivery.
Mhm.
Now, could I do my own podcast the way you do technically? Probably, Dave. It would take me 4 times as long and I'd be very frustrated. So why do that? Why not work on my strength? And so I think we should really play to those things. Then find those people who compliment you and they can help you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. So someone else, Alan Sylvia. Great show, Dave. Happy birthday, Patricia.
Thank you. Thank you, Alan.
You're celebrating. So you wanted to be on the show on your birthday.
I did.
Because I had some openings. You're like, oh, I want that because I want to be on a show, which is pretty cool. That's a good birthday gift to yourself.
Well, I believe in birthdays. I mean, I have friends that don't, and they don't even want to talk about them.
Yeah.
But I think it's a wonderful celebration of our life that we've made it this long. And to be able to celebrate with friends, I think is really special.
Yeah.
So,
So you've written 2 books, Success, Your Dream and You, A Guide to Personal Marketing, and Pathfinding, 7 Principles for Positive Living.
yeah.
What that's doing 1 book is huge, but you did 2 in your life. Tell me
Yeah.
about that. What were some of the takeaways?
Well, I wrote Success, Your Dream and You probably, I don't know, 30 years ago, maybe 25 years ago. And that was based on personal marketing, which is what you were just talking about. Empathy, understanding your client's need, really being there for them, creating a win-win so that what they want is what you want to give them. So
Yep.
the book was very much about that. The second one I wrote 10 years later, and that was very much, I actually interviewed my dad for a lot of that book. He's no longer with us, but I told a lot of his stories. And so there were 7 principles for positive living that I talk about in the book. And then I interviewed people who I felt exemplified those principles. And so, that's what they are. One is honor your heritage, which I think is important. Another one is stay positive. Another one is, really understand and accept and honor your abilities. I think sometimes we don't give ourselves credit. People say, well, Dave, you're great at that. And you go, instead of, thank you. That is my skill. Look at what I can do for people. So I think, think that it's important to honor our skills because they're our gifts.
Yeah, and if you don't embrace it, no one else will. I mean, people will see it, but you've got to embrace it and work with it. So, I remember reading something, you probably heard the same thing, that you should only, because the way people want to grow personally is they try to work on their weaknesses, right? But I read a book that, and I don't remember the name of it, but it really talked about improving your strengths. You're already good at those strengths. Just make those even better. Forget your weaknesses. You can hire someone to do that stuff.
That's what I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
what
true.
I believe.
What else? Tell me about, Improve My Podcast. What's going on? You've got a Voice America. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I want to share 2 more things, and then I'll tell you about Voice America.
Sure.
2 more principles are honor your relationships, and the last one is believe in miracles. I absolutely believe in miracles and serendipity. I think that those little things you didn't expect that happen, I call those miracles. So that's that.
Okay.
Podcast. Voice America. I've been with Voice America since 2002, and they're a very interesting company. They were one on the first on the block to do internet radio. Now they do full-blown internet podcasting. If you are on their network, you do, and they have guests that buy time on their network and find sponsors.
Yep.
If you're on their network, they will get you onto all of the podcast networks. So I'm on Google Play and iTunes and Spreaker, and there's quite a few. And they really do help promote. So, you don't have, it depends on what you want to do. Some people can do their own shows. Some people have that technical ability like you do, Dave, where, you can do it on your own, which is what you're doing.
Well, I still need Facebook because it's got to land somewhere. But I was just opening up Voice America. Of course, I spelled it wrong. VoiceAmerica.com. There's a lot of shows on there.
Yeah, you just look up my name and you can see my show. There's 300 shows on Voice America.
That's crazy. Most of them self-improvement and wellness and...
They have everything. They have self-improvement, wellness, business, sports. They have quite a bit.
So you've been on there like almost to the very beginning.
Almost. And I want to tell you that the owner, and I'll probably send it, the owner of the network, Jeff Spinard, is a Rhode Island boy. He grew up in Copland. Yeah, so when he comes home, that network, it's now 300 shows.
Wow.
So there you go.
And you've been doing this for a while. So how many episodes do you have now on Voice America?
Oh, well, it's 52 episodes a year times 20 years, right?
Wow, 1,000. You're over 1,000 episodes.
I'm on probably.
What am I on? I'm on. Hold on a second. Let me find. Am I on 22?
Oh, Dave.
I am episode 22, and you're at like 1,000 something. I can't even stand in your shadow. You're like.
Well, Voice America is one of the shows. I had a show on WPRO for 10 years. And on PRV, I had a couple of shows, and I had a show in North Carolina. So if you add up all the TV and radio shows, it's several thousand, and it's different venues. But it's always been that positive living kind of thing. And I just think this is such a great time to be in this business because you can do it on your own inexpensively.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have a camera, a mic. I mean, I get $90, $400 camera. Laptop I already have, and just like the right technology, and boom, you're live. So it's exciting. It's exciting to do that. And so I started this to really promote businesses. So it's an honor to promote you. It really is. You've been at it for a long time. You need the applause, which you've gotten anyway, and especially today since it's your birthday.
Oh, thank you, Dave.
So that's cool.
I want people to know that if they go to improvemypodcast.com, which is my new webpage, Dave England did that. So I want people to know that. There you go.
Cool. That's cool. Improve my Yeah, so that's underneath your name, Patricia Raskin, improvemypodcast.com.
Right. And I also have patriciaraskin.com that has many different things, but this is very focused.
That's a focused one, yep. So she can she can coach you and help you with your voice to start your own podcast or improve it if you already have a podcast. Now, what if you meet someone that they're like, oh, I don't want to start a podcast, but I love podcasting, but I don't want to start all that stuff. But I do want to be a guest on a podcast. You will sit with them and help them you'll coach them on how to speak and how to pull out their points?
Exactly. All right, because you don't always have to answer directly the question you're asked. What if someone asks you a question and you really don't want to answer it that way, or you're uncomfortable? Mm-hmm. There may be another way to answer it without directly answering it. Those are the kinds that you learn that as you go along.
Right. Yeah, there's something on your site that says, all the greats have a coach. So everybody who's great has a coach. You don't get there on your own, and so that's great having you. I mean, you're looking at it very critical, saying, I would say it this way, or your inflection is off, or you don't sound excited, or you sound down, so you're just going in there, just pulling punches, not pulling punches.
Well, I think when people really believe in what they do, and that's why when you ask me if I have difficult guests on, the guests I interview were so passionate, and many of them, probably 70%, had been through something, been through a trauma, or they've been through an illness, and they've come out the other side, and now they've written a book about it. So if you're passionate and you really love what you do, that's selling. That's automatic selling.
Yeah.
And here's my 5 P's to success that are in my first book. First one is purpose. Have a purpose. And that's vision, and then have a plan, write it down, and then have passion. And when you don't have passion, and that goes away for a little bit, have persistence. Don't knock the door down, but try another way. And then patience. And then I added a 6th one, prayer. Add some prayer to all that.
Yeah, that wraps it all up. Speaking of the best way to sell yourself, is just having passion is Alan Langer just left a thing. He said, great job, guys.
Oh, thank you,
Alan
Alan.
Langer wrote a book, How to Sell Without Selling. Perfect,
Right.
perfect.
Talk about passion.
He was on last week sometime. Aaron Usher says, hello, great topic. Yes, great topic, Aaron. It is. Podcasting. I'll tell you, when I discovered podcasting, it's great because it's content on demand. You know, with TV, you got to wait for the show to come on at 8 o'clock on a Friday. Although now we binge watch. But I agree with you on podcasting. You can be anywhere. You could be at the gym, running down the street. It's there, and I just wait for my show to come on.
Well, and there's over 600,000 podcasts, Dave.
Oh my gosh! I mean, there's like.
Let's say you like a topic, so you pick a topic. There's probably 30 to 40 to 100 podcasts on that topic. Just listen to a couple and pick the one you like. So
Right.
there's a lot of variety.
And I know when someone has a show, if you're following a podcast show, definitely give them a review. Some people don't say that, but if you give them a review, the more reviews they get, they go in the news and notable section of iTunes. So, which is great. It's kind of like being on page 1 of Google. So that's a good thing. Listen, it was great having you. Any closing comments here? Anything you wanted to let people know on your birthday? You've got the floor.
You know how I close my radio show every week? I say, stay healthy, stay happy, get the support you need, and know you can make your dreams come true. Until next time, I'm Patricia Raskin. That's what I say.
Well, that's great.
Thank you. If people want to find me, it's patriciaraskin.com or improvemypodcast.com. And I'm happy to give people complimentary consultations if they want to just kind of feel their way through this. So, Dave, thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. It was so much fun.
No problem. It is your birthday, and we're trying to promote you. Those are great closing words, Patricia, and have a great night. Have a glass of wine, please. Should have a glass of wine on me. Wine with Dave, wine with Patricia. Take care.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
That was cool. She's great. What am I doing here? I gotta turn that off. Oh, I'm having camera issues tonight, hitting the wrong camera. Anyway, Patricia knows her stuff, and if some people think, well, I can do my own show. Yeah, of course you can, but at some point, a friend of yours will say, oh, I've been watching the show, it's really good, and your friends are always going to say it's great. But I respect the people that say, and I had a few people actually text me, I wish you did this. That's annoying, or that's it would be better if you, I'm like, wow, that it took some boldness for them to say that. That's exactly what Patricia is. She goes in there, you hire her to review your podcast that you already have, or to help you develop one that you need to have. But anyone can do a podcast. Really, it's fairly easy. She's got the resources. She's got someone that can record and put the music in the beginning, the bumper music at the end, and commercials and all that. Make it one big piece of production, and then it's a template that you use every week. So I have a template on this show. I'll have to take some pictures of it. I have a template of all the parts, and they're all like bold green because I like green on white. It's good. Although it should be black on yellow because that's did you know? Black on yellow is a good one. But those are my points. They're in bold green, and it's like a template I follow, and I try to keep everything going. And it's 9:48, so I am on target. A little bit late, a minute or so, but that's okay. So that's what a podcast is. You come up with your template. Patricia's great. So Patricia Raskin, just Google her. She's all over the internet, and she knows what she's talking about. All right. So the segment that I like to do next is Dave Plays with Apps. But I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't pick one because my app that I'm trying to open just keeps saying unable to open. And I'm like, why is it unable to open? But I will, we got to talk about House Party a little bit. I'm not going to do that segment. I'm just going to show, well, for those of you who weren't here last night, I do this segment called Plays with Apps. Oh my gosh, my cameras they are all over the place. So here's the segment called Plays with Apps, okay? And usually I have something planned, but tonight I just did not have the time to get one. But I did talk about this last night. Can you guys see that? Let me blow this up a little bit. There you go. Right over there, House Party. House Party. If you've not been invited to House Party, first of all, treat this like House Party Part 2 because it's crazy good. You will be invited to House Party. Guarantee you. Someone will invite you to it. It's crazy good. And this is how I look at House Party. Yeah, it's like Zoom. It's a video chatting room that you go into, but it's not like Zoom. Zoom is you invite a bunch of people, give them the link. They got to go to zoom.us.com. They got to download the Zoom, the DMG opens up. It takes over your computer. Then you got to do the password, and then you got to knock, and then you got to check your microphone. Then you don't need that. House Party is basically you walking down Main Street, USA, and you see a coffee shop, and you happen to look in the window, and like, there's Patricia Raskin, or there's an old friend you haven't seen. You go in, you grab a coffee. Hey, Patricia, you sit down, you chat. That's what House Party is. So I don't even keep it on. I just have the app right there, but it tells me when someone enters a room on House Party. So I'll just have the phone there. All of a sudden, ding, it'll be a friend I haven't seen in 2 weeks. So I literally tap it. I'm just one tap away. I tap it and no one's on, but this is what it looks like. And let me reduce that so you can see it. Can you see that? Yeah, move it over. Move it on that side, all right? So House Party, you can invite people. Here's me, right? Your profile still needs a photo. I didn't set that up. But if you notice on the bottom, right? Where am I? Right over here. There's a lock. You can lock it. So if you're in a room with a friend you haven't seen, you can lock it and no one else can come in. They'll still know that you are in a party, but they can't come in. Now, are these just random people? No, they're people that you've invited once you sign up for the app. You can keep inviting your friends. So let me swipe it up. Invite friends. Tap that. There it is. Let's House Party. HTTPS get.houseparty. And just don't send that random to people, because I had one person say, Dave, is this from you? Just say, hey, this is from me. It's good. Trust me. It's great. Just get it on your app. During these times when we are not social distancing, we're social distancing. This is a great app. So just say that. You just type in their phone number, pop it in. These are all the people. I've got a bunch of people. I can invite some, but this is how it works. So if someone comes on, and someone might come on any second, so it might be cool. This video cuts in half, okay? So it gets cut like right here, right in the middle, and you're on the bottom, and everybody else is on top. And it just cuts and cuts and cuts. If you have 2 people, divide 4, it becomes like the Brady Bunch at some point, kind of like a Zoom call. But again, there's no signing in. You've already signed in one time, and that's it. So, and they throw these little things. Cows have BFFs for whatever. Up top, see the dice? You click that. You can play games with a friend. You can play quick draw, chips and guac, trivia, heads up. You can do that heads up game, which is sweeping the nation. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool, but definitely get it. I was telling people about it. I think it's amazing. And the second button, that little spinny thing, means you're spinning the camera to go the other direction. There we go. So this is what I see. There's my camera over there. And my little podcast mic. Boom. This is what I look at, by the way. That's what I look at during the day. So anyway, there's some of my notes. Boom. You've written 2 books. Oh, I almost showed you the closing joke. Can't do that. Can't do the closing joke. So get it. It's really good. If you leave a comment, if you already have it, or if you want to get it, or if you want to be invited, I will invite you. And I'll have fun with it. So that is Dave Plays with Apps. So where are we at? We're going to go here now. Next thing. Oh my gosh, my camera is all out of whack. Okay, here I am. So I've got 2 cameras. It's a little confusing. A little discombobulated tonight. I bring this up every now and then. I was at the beach about 3 weeks ago, and just walking around, solitary confinement, just walking around the beach. Beautiful. I'm about 3 blocks from it, and I see this thing sticking out of the sand, and I don't know if you can see that. It is an escape. It's an escape button that goes on a laptop or computer. So I just thought that was interesting, an escape button. During these times, you just want to hit the button and escape. So I keep this right by my desk. So I think of Wine with Dave as my little escape button. I just escape for a little bit. Anybody else leaving any questions, comments? You guys like that little ticker? I've got a, where am I? I have a, it disappeared on me. It's a ticker tape at the bottom. So again, if you have a message that you want to have show up on that ticker tape, I have it turned off now because I don't want to be annoying. Text me. My number is 345-9036, area code 401. And I'll put it in. So hopefully you liked the show. It is 9:55. We're kind of ending early, a little bit early, probably because I didn't do the Dave Plays with Apps. Should have been prepared, but I will be prepared tomorrow. And tomorrow night is the Echo. It's a duo music group. That's going to be really cool. They're probably going to play some of their stuff for us. So that'll be fun. What do we got? We have, ready? Closing joke. Everybody likes the closing joke. All right. What do you do with an elephant that has 3 balls? What do you do with an elephant that has 3 balls? You pitch to the giraffe. Five, 4,